Good thing for Jankos, although maybe now he has to play the Tahm Kench and go bottom lane, which would not be nearly as fun for him, although unless he's playing an actual champion, I don't think he's going to have a great time.
Let's just see, Andrew, that's what I'm saying. Let's just see. Let's find out where he's going to go, what he's going to do.
On this episode,
banned away.
Will it funnel?
I'm ready to find out. Rakan banned 2. We know that one helps with the will it funnel strategy.
Okay, so the analyst desk was saying ban out all of the carries, but when you talked to PerkZ on PGL last night, he's like, yeah, dude, we got so many champions you can play, there's no way you ban us out. Unicorns of Love, their approach is to ban all the supports that it can work with, so my eyes are maybe on the Nunu we've seen in a couple different regions, but it's going to be really hard.
Morgana and other options, but here's the thing. If Unicorns of Love only use their red side bans to ban supports, okay, jungle comes out, Nocturne, taking that option away, but immediately now the Aatrox gets locked in, and there are so many power picks available. Yes, a lot of the funneling picks have been taken away, Ender, but all of the other power picks are still up.
Yeah, and I'm specifically looking at Unicorn's draft in this game because I think yesterday a lot of the issue is that they drafted laners that didn't have priority early on, and Kold wasn't on a champion that could make proactive plays to bail them out. I want to see a lot more aggression out of them, especially because you have to assume, if you're the Unicorns, that you are playing against some sort of funnel strategy.
Absolutely, too. Of course, the Aatrox really gives away nothing here. Wunder, one of the few people that's been kind of let loose from the funnel strategy. He still gets to play what he wants. Whatever happens in these games is he's left on that top lane island. WhiteKnight will get his hands on the Mundo unless they want to get creative with the swaps there. And interested to see how this matchup plays out. WhiteKnight is kind of middle of the pack as far as top lane goes. Sometimes a little bit worse. But Wunder has been at the top for a while now. There's a lot of pressure to perform, but they talked about it on the desk, Ender. Pyke coming in for Totoro. This is good news.
I love this because there's a few supports in the league that have really started gravitating towards this champion. 2 of those being Wadid and Wunder. I know I've been seeing Wadid playing that on the stream, doing a lot of fun stuff, so definitely one of those champions that can make a lot of plays in the early game. And specifically for Totoro, it's about teaming up with Kold to enable their carries to get that early advantage.
Now, folks, I don't want to alarm you, but Jankos does have Smite. He may, in fact, get to take his own jungle and have his own source of gold income. He will not be the child walking around waiting for his parents to give him an allowance. He will be his own man, but I may be overselling it. Trundle looks like could get locked in.
It's actually going to happen. He's
Jankos
playing a jungler.
We don't know yet.
We know that.
We don't know yet.
Okay, so
Shen has been locked in. This could be mini flex picks, but it's looking like G2 will not funnel.
Conspiracy theory? It's Aatrox, Shen bot lane, Trundle top lane, and they still pull out the funnel, Drakos.
I like conspiracy theories.
I really hope that doesn't happen, though. G2, they have played a non-funnel before. They played it in their first game of the split, and it did look good.
Okay, this is the 3rd back-to-back Kindred game here in the EU LCS. Now, Kold has had this target banned away from him many times already in this season. We have not seen it on stage yet, but I have heard from Kold and from other people that he is a monster on this champion. I am excited to finally see it in his hands.
And we've already seen what this Kindred can do against the Trundle. It had one game against Trundle, or just popped off completely, but you definitely don't want to fall behind on this champion because it means you won't be able to go into the enemy's side of the map and get those marks and unlock your full potential. And for Kold, he absolutely needs to be on the forefront of his team's damage.
Now into the second ban phase, Ender. Morgana taken off the board. Vladimir going to follow. More of the funneling supports taken away. Of course, I'm not taking any risks here. Want to take some of those champions off the board. And Morgana, of course, just generally strong in the hands of the G2 lineup. Could also be that Morgana in the bot lane position in the hands of Hjärnan as it was yesterday. Yasuo going to follow. And it looks like Unicorns of Love feeling a little bit more confident that this is going to be a standard composition.
Probably going to look for something here in the hands of Samux with a little bit of CC, a little bit of pressure. That has typically been the strongest thing when paired up alongside Pyke. We have also seen picks like the Ziggs do very well, champions that can function well on their own, clearing away minion waves with relative ease. But what that is going to mean is that PerkZ will have to blind pick his mid laner. Exileh has the chance to find himself a counter pick, and with a jungler that can support him in Kold, that could be the place Unicorns look.
Zoe has been a huge comfort pick for Exileh this season. You can see Ryze and Vladimir, 2 other comfort picks for him, taken off the board, strong picks in their own right. Zoe's the 3rd champion to enter his pool at the moment. And I think they might just take it here. Yes, he's blind picking it, but it's something that Exileh is comfortable on, and we've seen when he can get ahead that he is quite good on that champion.
I'm a little bit nervous, though, because Zoe against a big, beefy front line is hard to play. And that's the Heimerdinger for Hjärnan. He's a beast on that champion.
It's been like a week, and I think people forgot about this champion.
Oh, yes. So that's a Lucian mid.
Okay, wait.
They have funneled a Lucian before.
I think it's just a regular Lucian mid.
I think it is, because what you can do, especially since PerkZ is running the cleanse, Lucian has a lot of all-in threat, early levels onto the Zoe, because he can close the gap with his dash and do a whole lot of burst damage. This could be a spicy one in the mid lane.
Unicorns Love now taking their time. The composition really squishy at this point outside of that Mundo. Ezreal will be locked in. We'll get a little bit of safety, some options to escape from these slower picks like the Trundle, the Shen, and the Aatrox. We're going to find out where everything goes now. Looks like it will not be a funnel. It will just be PerkZ in the mid lane with the cleanse to respond to the Zoe sleep. And G2 once again trying their hands at a standard composition. Only the second time this split.
I'm a little concerned, though, for the Unicorns of Love, because this feels eerily similar to the comp we just saw Roccat lose with in the last game. Zoe against a big, beefy front line. This time she has a few targets she can try to pick off, but it's definitely going to be a difficult task here for Exileh and the rest of the Unicorns.
It's interesting, too, because when we look at G2 eSports and their funneling comp, if they had picked a funneling composition here, we would know very quickly whether or not they were going to just outright win the game, because we've seen how clean they are at executing these plays in the early game. Unicorns of Love, though, some opportunities for them to play around the mid lane. That's the thing we love to see. You have a Pyke there to pull in the CC. The Zoe was set up of her own. Kindred there to back up with a little bit of damage. And if they can just shut PerkZ down completely, it'll be the start Unicorns are dreaming of.
This is going to be a scrappy one here. We talked a little bit about the safe, independent bot laners. Ezreal definitely falls into that category, so Totoro is going to have the opportunities to make some crazy plays around the map. I'm just excited because, again, going into Rift Rivals, we now get to see another standard composition game here out of G2, and PerkZ was saying that they do have those multiple layers. They can play it all. This is their chance to prove that just a little bit more.
Absolutely is, Ender. G2 eSports versus the Unicorns of Love. Will G2 remain undefeated in Europe? That is the question we're going to answer tonight. Can G2 play more than just funnel comps? And will Unicorns of Love strike back in our final game of week 3? Both teams now leaving the base, getting ready. Already pings coming down for the level 1 as both teams are ready to play around the top side if necessary. We'll find out who's going to make the first play.
I've seen Pykes at level 1s do crazy things today, Drakos, but somehow I'm not feeling that same vibe here from Totoro. But I do love the fact that the Unicorns of Love, the players we look to on this team, Kold and Totoro, to make things happen, are on champions that have advantages in this game. Totoro can group up with Kold and try to bully Jankos around in the jungle, but again, for the Unicorns, they cannot fall behind early. They can't afford to let that happen because team fighting with this composition is going to be very, very difficult.
Absolutely, and we've seen what happens when you go late with these difficult execute comps. We saw it last game. It was definitely a struggle for the Roccat lineup, and you can expect G2 and especially Wunder to have a similar level of confidence to Odoamne. WhiteKnight making good use of the bone blading there, just to throw down a bit of damage, although while they battle over the ward, you are going to see junglers start to get those starts. 125 and counting, 130 will really kick off the start of the game. Mid lane meets. And when we look back on it, we got to keep our eyes, I think, to a certain degree here on Kold. This is a man that I'm very interested in. The Kindred, another pick that's really rising in popularity. And this is the guy that is kind of the catalyst in the team's action. And this is, thank you, stats team. So,
who's the real jungler?
Yeah, who's the real, can Jankos even jungle, really? Isn't this guy a support main?
That's what I thought. I don't know what PerkZ is doing playing mid lane. Kold's going for level 2, actually.
Oh, I like this. Oh, the flash forward. Moving in. Oh, that is tragic. Flash traded for Flash in the end. They're happy to have that advantage, but Jankos is here trying to take this one down. It looks like he is going to be able to cut through it. Kold knows that this is happening. The smite drops. That means it is secured. Kold is going to need to look for the rinse and repeat if he actually wants to get a kill on the top side.
That's really unfortunate for Kold because not only does the gank not result in a kill, he does get the flash, that is good, but he loses that mark on the top side of the map when he should, in theory, have the pressure advantage to take that one away from Jankos. This mid lane matchup that we do have to continue to look at, there is some spice that can be done by PerkZ.
Absolutely, and when you look at Kold, he's a guy that's usually present in these mid lane matchups. Now, yesterday, they tried to play around the mid lane as they always do, but Vitality were ready to punish. Vitality crushed them in those matchups. We talked about the draft for Unicorns of Love being a bit of a weakness. Exileh still playing with fire, though. We just have to keep our eyes on Kold this game and the Unicorns of Love. See if they change their style at all. The good news is they've already played around top a little bit more, so maybe this is a sign of things to come.
But it is still very likely that plays are made here around this mid lane. Wadid just spamming that lap in the river, just having a good time with things, but especially with a Lucian in the mid lane, a Zoe as well, there's a lot of kill threat both ways if either party makes mistakes. So you have to assume that Jankos and Kold will have a distinct focus on that area of the map.
Absolutely. Totoro, he's just disappearing.
He's trying to funnel Kold, I think.
I'm going to say, for the will it funnel question, I'm going to say no this time, Ender. Not going to funnel. On the bot side, interesting enough, Totoro opting for the Relic Shield. Will help him push the wave out a little bit more, will match, but I know that's not your personal preference there, Ender.
Dude, I like the Ancient Coin, personally. The movement speed, the CDR you get on Pyke when you have such high cooldowns, as well as the mana restore to allow you to make a few more fishes happening with the Bone Skewer, but I'm glad you brought up this bottom lane, because we already saw a Pyke do disgusting things to immobile mages. The Zyra from a few games ago didn't have a great time, and I think a lot of people will look at this and say Heimerdinger falls into a similar situation. The difference is he can put down that turret in the blink of an eye and block the hooks, which is a pretty sweet counter to any type of hook champ.
Also, if you've ever tried to dive a Heimerdinger in a solo queue game and you don't have an absurd amount of burst damage, you'll know the horrible experience of him walking around you in circles while his turret kills you. So, big risk there. Now Jankos will try to shut down WhiteKnight here. WhiteKnight, of course, does flash from the earlier play. Will dodge out on the Dark Flight. Kold here for the follow-up. Ooh, Cleaver lands, but the little bit of minion block there going to stop a further chase. So flash for flash in the end traded on the top side. Jankos keeping his, though, means that both gangs work out in favor. Oh, flash taunt from Wadid. That is the perfect start. Exileh now running the flash out. Ignite ticking. Can he get it? Sleepy Trouble goes down. Burning. No.
That was so close. PerkZ, he took the cleanse, so
19 HP. Shout out to the production team. Quick check on that one for me. Now Totoro looking to fire back. Kold is here. Ghost Water dive, but PerkZ is not scared of ghosts.
Yeah, PerkZ like, what are you gonna do, man?
I mean, Lucian's job is like to kill ghosts, right, or spirits or whatever. I don't know. Lore is hard, but yeah. I just feel like if anyone's not gonna be scared of a Ghost Water dive, it's gonna be Lucian.
He's the light slinger, I believe. Expels evil. If you watch the climb video at the start of the season, he's culling straight through those guys. He also got Essence Reaver before it was reworked in that video.
Look,
he was using his E way too
spoiling content. Reddit detectives couldn't see that one coming, huh? Couldn't guess the specific item. Oh, Hex Flash. Gonna look for a little bit of damage here. Ooh, may try to extend the trade. No mana on PerkZ. This is actually huge. The Ignite takes down. Paddlestar comes back. Wadid is... Oh! Wadid is the homie. He just blocked, or would have blocked anything that came further. Now WhiteKnight needs to run for his life, but a lot of action there in the mid lane. Shout out to Exileh, making good use of that Hex Flash.
And people might ask, why Hex Flash on Zoe in the mid lane? The immediate answer is, oh, it gives you a little bit of extra range for damage on the Q, but also you'll give her that extra damage from using a summoner spell off of her W, so just that little bit more to try to find the kill down there on the PerkZ, but Exileh actually used his Ignite in lane very early on in a level 2 or level 3 trade, and that meant it wasn't up for that exchange, and lost him the kill.
Yeah, and despite, of course, you know, seeing that really well played trade out there from Exileh, PerkZ still with a pretty significant lead in the mid lane, looking pretty good despite the funnel composition not being the team's primary strategy. And, you know, we see 29% gold percent, 63 KDA. Keep in mind he's only died once, so if he dies here, that KDA is going to get cut in half. Channeling, waiting, holding on to it. PerkZ. Oh my god, looking into the face of death and just saying, you go first.
That's just the ultimate mind game, because Totoro's holding on to the Bone Skewer for as long as possible. He wants to wait until PerkZ uses the dash, but doesn't come through, and PerkZ wins out that 200 IQ battle.
Incredibly low ping there.
Zero ping.
I mean, that's just a crazy moment. Crazy moment there. The patience coming in. I thought Totoro was throwing it out. I thought Totoro had somehow, you know, broken his Q, I'll be honest, but didn't happen. Didn't come out. Didn't need to throw it. In the end, PerkZ, good patience, pays off for him. 55 CS. You can see he ran out of mana earlier. Not going to be a problem anymore as he does grab this blue buff. May not be a funnel comp, but Jankos, not completely fed up, will still give the blue buff over to his mid.
Yeah, I do also want to draw our eyes down to the supports levels. Wadid is only level 3, Totoro is only level 4. This just goes to show how supports are playing in the current meta. They're never down bot lane with their duo partner. No, no, no. It's all about trying to find those openings like Totoro almost got onto PerkZ in the mid lane.
And the CS not too different. Hjärnan with a small lead here due to the pressure he's able to put down. Samux holding his own as best he can, but we're going to see what G2 do with the bot lane pressure now. Totoro still roaming, not worried about leaving his support under the tower. WhiteKnight moving down onto Jankos. Kindred is here as well. They really want to take this one. 700 health. Ooh, Jankos going to get the smite away, though. That is a solid start. Does have to flash out to safety. WhiteKnight, is he willing to commit a little bit more? Doesn't have the flash. Is it going to go for it? Here comes Totoro. PerkZ knows it's there. Hook going out. PerkZ just waits. Nice and patient. Dashes it out.
Very well done by him. PerkZ, this entire laning phase, has been doing a great job himself. Almost a 15 to 20 CS lead at the moment. Wunder doing very well for himself in the top lane as well. It feels like all the lanes for G2 at the moment have the priority. But once again, it's time to the bot lane.
Samux. Oh, beautiful info buffer there. Wait, the hook is going to go in. Hold it right back. Oh, that's a solid start for the Unicorns.
That's the Pyke, baby. Only level 4 on Wadid, so didn't have a whole lot of HP to tank up that turret.
Absolutely did not. Well played there. Totoro happy to have a little bit of extra experience. Samux happy to have a little bit of extra gold. Solid start for Unicorns. We said they needed something to get them going.
Okay.
Good job, both connects. Good start. Waiting on it. Ooh, good damage. Not quite enough to 100 to 0 him. The Ignite is available. Jankos is here. We've seen this one before. As we did last time, almost getting the kill. 19 health was all that stood left for Exileh. Kold comes out. Exileh needs to run. Here comes the Aatrox. Exileh gonna dodge out, gonna dodge right back, so he can throw a bubble connects. Sleeping under the tower. Wunder now getting knocked out by the tower shot. Kold leaping forward, but an excellent dive from G2.
So well done. Wunder using his priority that he had with the shoving lane in the top lane. He sacrifices minions to his own tower just to make this play work out in mid lane. Good stuff by G2 on a team level to set up PerkZ.
The hook, can he predict? Nope. Nope.
Okay, so PerkZ is doing that, brilliant thing where instead of juking, he just stands still, and then Totoro mind games himself and misses the hook. Every time.
I mean, it's a prediction. Now we can see good use of the Hex Flash. Sadly, better use of the ward from Unicorns of Love. They know what's going on here.
And Wadid just assumes that Pyke is never going to be in this lane, but Totoro shows up at exactly the right moment. There's no way for Wadid to get out of that one. If he runs in a straight line, he's going to get hooked.
And just well played from Totoro. This is a guy we've been praising a lot on the Unicorns of Love lineup. We heard it from Desk as well. Sadly, not enough to give them a gold advantage. 15.6 to 15.1. Things just about even. G2, though, with a bit of vision here down on Kold, means they know exactly what's happening.
I still think it's a very important kill for the Unicorns to get bot side, though, because this matchup, the more I think about it, Heimerdinger into Pyke is really, really rough. Heimerdinger is going to constantly shove in that bottom lane, and it makes it that Totoro is... He doesn't have that ability to be able to roam to the mid lane quite as much. Whenever he goes there, Samux is at risk of being doped, so his timing there, expecting the move out of Wadid, was very, very well done by Totoro.
Well played. G2, though, in the meantime, going to take advantage of the top lane priority that Wunder has been building for this team. Take this Rift Herald uncontested. Happy to have it here 10 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Of course, you can see the early Executioner's calling. Wunder clearly focused on his lane opponent.
And PerkZ, his stats right now look like he's in a funnel comp because he's sitting at 102 CS, a 30 CS lead almost over Exileh in the mid lane, showing the power of being able to make these counter matchups happen. Remember, Exileh opted into this 1v1.
Not using the cleanse, not using the flash. Good patience, using the Kold to fire back on Exileh. Still losing the trade. Not giving up any summoners. Exileh with no Ignite means PerkZ can play a little bit more comfortable, a little bit safer. Kold is going to look to grab an objective for the team. Rift Herald, though, could prove to be more valuable depending on how G2 use it.
I really like the vision setup from the Unicorns, though, deep vision in this bottom side, because once Kindred gets that Blood Razor, it's so easy with that % HP damage to take down neutral objectives like the Mountain Drake, and won't be possible for G2 to contest now that Samux and Totoro have the advantage in the bottom lane, it seems.
And Hjärnan so patient on this play. Ooh, Totoro taking so much damage back. Passive is going to be given a little bit, but Gifts of the Drowned Ones cannot heal him through everything. And really across the board, when you look at just laning stats, outside of bot lane, G2 just are pretty much dominating across the board, Ender.
That's the one concern I had about Kindred, because again, yesterday, the Unicorns had a lot of losing lanes early on, and Kold, I believe he was playing the Nocturne, didn't have the abilities to force those early moves. In this game, it was that one level 2 gank in the top lane that didn't end up netting anything more than a flash. Kold never returned to that lane, although now maybe has an opportunity to collapse on Wunder. The champion's nuts. He can do it all, Drakos.
Dark Flight, low cooldown, rather had the Blast Cone. could make it out, although he's going to need to flash over that wall, knows that he does not have the luxury of reviving here. Sleep does connect. Exileh going to push forward. Has to be careful though, pulls back. PerkZ not going to hesitate to move forward. Hook isn't going to connect. Totoro hitting the field goal here. And now Hjärnan takes bot lane tower. So across the board, G2 are winning out on these exchanges. Yes, Flash is lost on the top side, but about a 2k gold lead in G2's favor is going to be a good look. PerkZ now running for his life. Red buff is there, but if they can't proc it, they can't get anything else. And PerkZ, 28 CS lead ender, dodging all of these ganks, and taking so much of Unicorn's love time.
It's so painful, too, if you're a Unicorn's love fan. It's like, yes, punish PerkZ in the mid lane, gank this guy, shut him down, and they've tried so hard, but he's just been able to dodge around it every single time. There's been some pretty good vision control from G2 around this middle lane for a large part of this early game, and it's really stopped the ability for the Unicorns to make those plays matter and to make them work out.
To be fair, it feels like G2 might just have a track record for success. We're gonna have to see now. Jankos gets pulled back over the wall, but Wadid and Hjärnan are here. They're in the middle of everything. That is not at all what they need. Kold gonna use the ultimate. Totoro in the middle of it too. Wants to make it out. Kold gonna try to leave to safety. Exileh's in the middle of everything, but no. Heimerdinger gonna grab the kill onto Kindred. That's the double. He doesn't even go over the wall. He is sitting in that Krug camp, happy to just clean up.
Throwing so much damage over that wall, and Wunder during this play rotates down into the mid lane, shoves that wave out, and G2 are going to get yet another turret with a cherry on top of that beautiful fight.
And you can see G2 learning from the game they watched before. Slow and steady wins the race with the style of composition. They've seen the Kindred vulnerable, don't want to give it that time, and just pushing forward, making the most out of this Rift Herald. Samux is here, but has to be careful.
Turret likely going to be taken down in the coming minutes. It's so low, and this is the real benefit for G2, taking all these minions in the jungle away from Kold. He's on a champion that needs resources, needs gold and experience, and Jankos at the moment has a distinct advantage. Even though UOL are trying to punish him, they finally engage, but Hjärnan and Wadid are right there. Look at the damage from this Heimerdinger over the wall, finding the snipes, and Exileh tries to make something happen, but it's not enough. He doesn't have the damage to deal with Jankos.
That was the deep sigh, the cocked head. You can see the frustration on the face of Kold. It's been a rough week for Unicorns to Love. They started off so rough, turned it around coming into week 2. Now in week 3, things are starting to fall down once again. It's a tough opponent to be sure. Odds are stacked against them. Jarge gave him a lowly 1% chance for the upset. All things considered, though, only 3k down. They have a Mountain Drake backing them up. It is going to get a little bit worse here as PerkZ continues to pressure on the top side. And we'll see how long Unicorns of Love can hold out and if they can find an opportunity to come back. Totoro. Both not going to connect. PerkZ, look for the pulling, is going to tank the tower. Totoro with a body block. He does not care.
I mean, Unicorns are trying to 2 versus 1 him, but there's always the threat of that stand united to make that an even fight, but I don't know, 2v2 would seem uneven because right now PerkZ counts as 2 players himself.
And you got to know when you're PerkZ, when you look at that team and you go, I see no point in clicks. I'm playing Lucian. I will outplay you if you come in. I will dodge your skill shots. I do not care about the Mystic Shot. I do not care about the Bone Skewer. And that is confidence right there from the G2 mid lane.
And he's made it work in every single engagement. Every single opening UOL thought they had was just an outplay from PerkZ. He's able to dodge away from it, and now this vision control for G2, I'm just noticing, is absurd on the top side of the map. There is nowhere that Kold can go without being spotted out. It just protects PerkZ in his split push in the top lane.
Yeah, now you can see Hjärnan taking him home in the mid lane. He's going to be the one to keep up the pressure. Now throwing down the tower. Ignited already. Throwing back the Paddle Star, trying to clear the waves. Taking a lot of poke in exchange, but Unicorns of Love once again looking for opportunities. This must be the 6th, 7th, maybe 8th time that they've tried to force a player on mid lane, and G2 are just ready every single time.
The issue for them is G2 could be anywhere. They're always in the fog of war. UOL do not know what's going on, and G2 are trying to keep up the pressure. Hjärnan's actually teleporting back into this middle lane. Gonna try and cancel these recalls.
Super Trouble Bubble goes out. Don't know if he's gonna be able to get it. Totoro pulling back, trying to peel for the team. That tier 2 you predicted to fall, Ender, will fall. 17 minutes and 10 seconds into the game. G2 extend to almost a 6k gold lead. Now they may look to break open the base. Heimerdinger is there. Excellent sieging. I don't even know if they can cut through Jankos. Fire the ultimate. Oh, almost Kold. But a brief respite will mean that Kold survives. And this is some clinical League of Legends. Fnatic stomped earlier today when it came to Giants, but G2 are just choking Unicorns out.
And this is just the hallmark of a top tier team. Misfits have done it. Fnatic did it earlier today. Now G2 are trying to make that three-peat. And with Mountain Drake spawning up 2.5 minutes before a Baron buff with a Heimerdinger, that becomes the immediate place you look for G2 to close it out.
And it's a good look. Something we've been talking about all day, something that's on everyone's mind is Rift Rivals. G2 coming in as the #2 seed. It's a good look that they can play more than just funnels, that they're showing us that they can still play this clinical, clean, standard style of League of Legends. And overall, if you're a fan of Europe, this is what you want to see. If you're a fan of Unicorns of Love, of course, you're a bit disappointed, but at least there's a consolation prize that you can hope for that Rift Rivals title.
And for Unicorns of Love, just looking at G2 as an opponent, it doesn't feel like there's any obvious weakness that they can try to exploit. Of course, before today, it had all been about putting as many resources you could into Perk, so ganking the mid lane and trying to shut him down was the go-to strategy. But that doesn't work when PerkZ just, you know, tells you that he's one of the best mid laners in Europe. He beat out Capped just yesterday and proves that you can't shut that man down.
No, and historically you would have looked bot lane, you would have Hjärnan and Wadid to be shut down, but this summer, this meta is empowering them. They look so good both as a duo and when it comes to playing with the team, and showing once again that they can fit comfortably into a standard composition, flexible enough that Wadid can be the Rakan to follow PerkZ around in the funnel. It's a good look for the G2 lineup.
Right, and what happens when you have to ban out this funnel strategy? You ban 3 supports, and all of a sudden, you leave open Hjärnan's signature Heimerdinger that he's going to be able to win every single lane matchup, it feels like, on. He was just basically dropping down his turrets and solo took down that turret.
Oh!
What?
No.
Today's been the day of one-shots, Drakos.
Flashbacks. Oh, no. It just keeps happening, folks. I can't, Ender, I'm trying to think of something to say about this man. He walked into Heimerdinger's jungle. Heimerdinger said no. Said no trespassing. I have the right to shoot you. He shot him. Well, there you go. Dead.
Oh no, it just does not stop from G2. I mean, that Baron buff we talked about, it just now spawned up. G2, this is the... there
you go. Here we go, guys. We're going to contest a blue.
The damage. Uh-huh. Tell me about it, Drakos. What did you see happen?
Until I saw the blue spawn, I thought he was legit just waiting there, like, I'm going to kill the first person who walks into my jungle. And then the blue spawn, and it made sense. But just fantastic play from Hjärnan. 3-0 on this Heimer. If you had told me that this is the champion he popped off, I would have assumed you were BSing me at the start of the season, but definitely a powerhouse player when it comes to pulling up this pick. Oh, PerkZ. Oh, the sidestep once again. The Ignite does go down. Totoro on the way in. Deep here on the side, though. The Phantom Undertow going to be used to pull him back to safety, and still just poking at G2, looking for an opening. Try and find a hole in that armor, but it's just not happening.
G2, I mean, they can just look for an all-in if UOL overstep.
Finally get a hook! Oh, no.
Well, ulti? I actually don't think Totoro has the damage to execute PerkZ with the ult right now.
He saw it, he hooked it, he ignited. He clearly wanted it, but it just did not happen.
Yeah, PerkZ is level 13. Let this sink in for a second. PerkZ, Hjärnan, and Wunder are all level 13. That is a distinct advantage over members like Totoro, who's just on level 9, because they're absorbing all this golden experience out of Kold's jungle. It's really rough now for this Kindred to find any kind of an impact when she's just been starved like it feels.
Yeah, absolutely. Totoro has to be careful here. He was the hunter for a while. From predator to prey, it looks like it. He's charging up that hook, but I think at this point they might not mind getting pulled in. Pulling does come out. PerkZ takes a bit of poke. Hjärnan is on the way in, setting up towers, waiting, hoping the Unicorns of Love are going to push into him. Jankos actually getting chunked out. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land. That could be good. Eyes on the hook. Hjärnan in the middle of everybody, but he just fires right back. Wunder with the turn and burn. 2 for the Aatrox. Samux now running for his life. Blastgun's going to take him to safety, but Baron now in the sights of G2. If they want it, they can take it. Only 2 men left standing on the sides of UOL.
So, NA, they're going to need a little bit of handicap in Rift Rivals. I'm going to give them a hint. Ban Hjärnan's Heimerdinger, because that is absolutely disgusting. That man just solo carried that team.
I'm just going to say, you and Bettias keep posting hints specifically for how to beat G2. I mean, I feel like you've got it out for them.
Teams need it. Look at this. It's so clean and methodical from G2.
9K gold lead, mountain to mountain, 5 turrets to 1. 5-0 G2 about to be a 6, or 5-0 G2 about to be a 6-0 G2. And Unicorns Love looking well on their way to 2-4. And You can see why. The beautiful turn and burn here.
Hjärnan, get ready for it, because he's going to give him the big E on 3 members. Gets a stun on 2, the damage onto a 3rd. Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, those moments, if you ever play a game, you know those moments, because those are the moments you scream. It's like 2 in the morning, and your significant other or your mother goes, "What are you doing?" But you know it was worth it, because you shouted. It was that wombo combo, and it just feels so good.
It feels so, so good. Now, G2, they're going to be setting up. All right, Moose, what you got for us?
Looking like a 6-0 G2 versus 6-0 Misfits after Rift Ride. Well, I mean, I don't know when he tweeted this, but it's not a very hard prediction at this point in the game.
I feel like you could have tweeted this a few days ago and still been fairly accurate.
It's a good look. Unicorns of Love just haven't been able to compete this game. They're getting split across the map. Hjärnan throws down the big tower. Exileh is now running for his life. PerkZ is ready to kill everybody. Hjärnan grabbing 1. PerkZ getting 1 in this chains. The Zoe is dead. WhiteKnight now running. He's just a meat shield for the squishier members. And PerkZ is fearless. Black Cleaver, Blade of the Rune King, a BF sword. Berserker's Greaves, making it look easy. Wunder's going to back. He's got TP. Says, guys, I'm going to heal up. I'm going to buy an item. I'll come back. We'll win this game. And G2 did not expect it in a world where Fnatic were still on top, where Fnatic had so many members up, but they are looking more dominant than ever. Looks like they may just end the game. Are they going to play with their food a little bit? We will find out, but 9-1 the kill score. 13K gold lead. Totoro looking for a last-second desperation play, but I don't think it's going to happen. PerkZ the flash forward wants a little bit more. Ooh, cannot get it. Lamb's Respite buys a bit of time, trying to turn, but the Nexus will fall in the end. G2 eSports 6-0 in the LCS.
G2 look pretty good, Drakos. They don't make many mistakes. PerkZ, pretty good mid laner, sort of, you know, won that game so hard there.
Except his KDA went from above 60 to 30.
He died 1 time.
I don't remember the exact numbers. Someone's going to tell me.
He died right at the end.
But he died, and that cut his KDA in half. So if we're honest,
what a misplay.
Misplay.
But,
oh, God. Okay, so guys, you remember the Zoe game from Fnatic where we checked in on the damage? This game, it's not the mid laner, despite PerkZ playing like a fiend. It is, in fact, Hjärnan. Ender, give us the numbers. What we got?
Okay, so Hjärnan's rolling in here with just under 20,000 damage. And the next highest, of course, was going to be Exileh in the mid lane with around 1,300. So it's not that insane.
What was that you said earlier? You wanted to give some advice to the NA teams.
It is ban Heimerdinger.
Okay.
Because Hjärnan had all the answers in this game. He shut down the Pyke, didn't let him roam, and when Pyke did roam, he took that bottom lane turret. And that wasn't it. The team fights were even more nasty from Hjärnan.
Absolutely. The triple grenade. The power grenade. Into the double Aatrox knockup. Oh. Wait, we're on patch 8.13 for Rift Rivals, right?
We are.
Is new Aatrox enabled?
I believe he would be.
I should know that, folks. I'm sorry, I do not. Okay, well, maybe it'll be with new Aatrox.
Oh, yeah.
Another 3-man knockup.
Multiple times in a row. There's lots of knockups. Oh, man. Wunder, he could make any champion look good, though, I feel like.
I mean, it's definitely true. And despite Kold trying to get a little bit of early action there on the bottom side, I like that Jankos, the man on your screen right now, responded, came back up, he gave Wunder that attention. He said, I'm going to back your lane up, I'm going to set you up for safety. And I think really when you look back at this game, obviously Hjärnan was a monster. But you also look at the, I'm just going to make up a bigger number every time, 5,000 mid lane ganks. 5,000. That PerkZ dodged, that PerkZ lived through, where he shouldn't have. The time he almost killed Exileh and turned it around, that is an all-star performance.
There were so many crazy things in this game, but I think Europe going into Rift Trials have to be very, very confident. Not only G2 looking so clean, Splice, they had a 2-0 week. The only loss one of our 3 teams had was from Fnatic against the impossible-to-beat looking G2.
Very true. I think overall it's a solid state for G2 to be in. The battle for the top of the Europe just continues to go on. And really, I think it's so hard because earlier today we were on the desk for pre-game. Ready check.
Ready check.
I keep wanting to call them so
Ready
sorry.
check. Hashtag ready check on Twitter 30 minutes before the show every day.
That's true. Thank you. Good job. So we're talking about this, and it's like it's really hard to talk between G2 Esports and Misfits, who's actually on top. And when every time G2 Esports show us something new, it's like another notch in their belt, like something else in their favor when it comes to deciding who is actually the best in Europe right now.
There's so many fun matchups to look at in that game. I think Maxlor versus Jankos actually playing a jungler is a pretty good one, but also that bottom lane is really exciting now that Hjärnan is stepping up in the summer split.
Absolutely. Well, as we close out the week, you guys at home can take to Twitter and vote for your players of the game. This time it stands between Hjärnan, PerkZ, and Wunder. And this one's really tough. I still feel like it's PerkZ, but I don't want to influence you guys, so forget I said that. I already said it, so it's too late. But
you anchored them, Drakos. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I think
the integrity of this poll has now been thrown out the window. I'm going to say you should vote for the other two guys. Now we fixed it.
Is that how that works?
I don't think so.
All right, okay. All right, well, for more on G2's win, let's hear from their jungler and their top laner.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am, in fact, joined by Wunder and Jankos. And, guys, G2 didn't play a funnel comp. They said it couldn't be done. Tell me about your composition today.
I played the jungler, and I'm really glad. But I didn't do much this game, so that feels bad because I didn't carry. So I guess next game I'll probably play support. I will get downgraded again. Also, when they were trying to kind of talk about us right there, they said that I'm a jungler, you know. But I'm actually not a jungler, I don't know anymore. I'm just playing top lane, I'm playing jungle. It's weird, but it was fun today.
Well, you were able to help your buddy right over here quite a lot after he got, if I might quote, cheesed at level 2. So Wunder, I mean, what do you have to say about that? I feel like Jankos is backing you up all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like these 2 games this week, I got cheesed level 2, or like I got level 2 ganked at least. And today I didn't die, so that's a plus. But I was playing Aatrox today, and I was not very useful either. And so I'm probably going back on a tank as well next week, or at Rift Trials. But yeah, I don't know, like Jankos and me, we have like an alright synergy. Of course, you can't really see it when we are playing because we are playing funnel comps and I'm kind of playing without a jungler. So I'm playing without my body Jankos here. But yeah, I think I did alright. And I kind of called that Mundo had no flash, even though it was Kindred who flashed, I think. And that's why I baited him to come top, you know, even though he thought it was a free kill, but it was really not. It was just a flash burn.
I'd like to add something. First of all, Wadid died, and he's really bad, and he should improve. And the way he gave up the kill it just made me disappointed with him. Because I would never do that as the best support in Europe. That's first of all.
Okay, so you're going to fight for who gets the smite. All right, well, let's move away from this one. I want to sow any discord in your team. I'm glad you mentioned Rift Rivals coming up. Wonder you guys are going to be heading over to NA next week. Out of the teams you're going to be facing up against, do you have somebody that you're really looking forward to playing against?
TSM, no, I joke. I'm Team Liquid probably, I don't know. Like, Team Liquid is like the best team in NA right now, and I'm not really sure about 100 Thieves. I think they're playing with like Sop, Jungle, and top laner as well, and wait, who is the other team?
It would be Echo Fox.
Yeah. Echo Fox. Yeah, Huni, my brother. But I'm probably not playing against Huni, you know? I'm probably playing against like Dadok on Rengar or something, so that'll be fun, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what goes on in the NA meta.
I mean, for me, I really don't mind playing against Liquid nor Echo Fox, even though I think they're really good teams. I just want to destroy Proly. And the fact that he abandoned Europe and he left to NA.
Don't talk, support player.
The fact that he abandoned Europe and he left for NA, this is just so sad. So I just want to crush his dreams. Also, we have Ryu there and Levi, and I really respect them and I really like them and I know them as players, so it's fun.
Absolutely. Always good seeing the sportsmanship coming as well as the will to crush the life out of NA. Okay, but Rift Rivals is going to be all good and fun. You guys also will be coming back here for week 4. You'll be facing off against Misfits, the only other 6-0 team. And I want to ask both you guys how you think you're going to stack up, especially starting with you, Jankos. How do you think you stack up as a jungler, assuming you get to play jungle against Maxlor?
Yeah, I think I will be all right. I think Maxlor is, I mean, Misfits as a whole is probably one of the best teams in Europe right now. I think I'm not sure if they fixed their issues from Spring Split, but the meta just suits them way better. And if they get early lead, they can actually close out the games now because it's like way easier. But I think it's not going to be as easy against us in the early game as they have it against the other teams. So I'm pretty excited for this matchup.
Awesome. Now over to you, Wunder. Comparing against Alphari, if it's a tank v tank, it's a carry v carry, what do you think is going to happen there?
Well, personally, from practice experiences and just like past seasons as well, I think Alphari is probably the top laner that is the hardest to play against. He's probably the one I feel like is the best right now as well. So playing against him is going to be pretty fun. And like, I don't know, like on stage, it seemed like at this last split that they had some struggles and he didn't really shine as much as maybe he could or should. So I'm just going to look forward to playing against him and seeing like what's the deal, or if they play the same on stage as like they do in practice as well. Because in practice they are a pretty good team. So
yeah, what is also weird is that he didn't shine when he was playing the carries, but now when he's playing Mundo, he's destroying everyone.
Mundo's OP.
Yeah, Mundo is OP, or maybe tanks are just superior, and Wunder should play tanks, and I should play carry junglers and not supports, and that would be great.
I have so many tank games to split. Like I don't know. Like
All right. I hate to cut you guys off on that bombshell. We're going to toss it over to the post-game lobby.